My name is Elaine. I vividly remember that fateful day at the grand gathering my mother-in-law organized. It was the moment I finally snapped after enduring her relentless bullying for far too long. As I stood there, listening to her vicious remarks about me in front of all the neighbors, something inside me just broke. She was going on and on about how I was uneducated, a burden, and how I wouldn't give her a grandchild. With a sly look in my direction, she even insinuated that I might have tampered with the food. That was the last straw. I suddenly raised my voice, that's it. My outburst startled not only my mother-in-law but also our little kitten, Max. I'm sorry for scaring you, Max, I whispered softly, I'll give you a treat later. Then I turned to face my mother-in-law. You don't like me, do you? You think I'm unworthy because of my education. You don't even want me to have children, right? Who knows what would happen if I did? Would they be abandoned in the woods? Oh, how terrifying. She was taken aback, what? And tried to protest, I would never do such a thing. But I wasn't done. And about the money we spent on this house, you will repay me every single penny. Her smug look disappeared in an instant. She shrieked, what nonsense is this? Her loud voice drew my husband, Jake, and my father-in-law, Henry. The neighbors also turned to watch. She quickly twisted the story, this woman is demanding repayment for the house when she contributed nothing. I remained calm. Mother-in-law, didn't you say you don't want a child from me? She snapped, that's right. I then turned to the neighbors, she's told you this before, hasn't she? After a brief, uncomfortable silence, one neighbor hesitantly admitted, well, yes, she has. Another nodded, she always says things like that. My mother-in-law's face went pale. She had never expected to be exposed like this. My husband, now furious, said to her, Mom, do you even know what you're talking about? Elaine graduated from Yale. She's far more accomplished than I am. The room fell into stunned silence. My mother-in-law stammered, what? That's impossible. She told me she went to some no-name university. The truth was, I had graduated from Yale. The university she misheard was actually Oxford, one of the most prestigious institutions in the world. After my undergraduate degree, I pursued my master's in France. When she asked about my education, I answered truthfully, never imagining she would misinterpret it so badly. Jake continued, and let's get something straight. This house, Elaine paid $150,000 from her savings. My mother-in-law gasped, what? That's impossible. A housewife like her couldn't have that kind of money. Jake let out a sharp laugh, Elaine isn't just a housewife. She's a successful real estate investor. Her monthly profits are over $130,000. Her jaw dropped. She had no idea. Every time she called or dropped by, I was at home, so she assumed I did nothing. In reality, Jake and I had agreed to keep my income a secret from her because she was not only obsessed with academic status but also greedy for money. If she had known, she would have pestered me for expensive gifts. I looked her straight in the eye and said, regardless, you'll be paying back every last cent of that $150,000. If you can't, sell the house and the land. If that's not an option, take out a loan. Panic flashed across her face. Henry, who had been quiet until then, finally exploded. How much more damage do you want to cause, woman? Look around you. No one here is on your side anymore. My mother-in-law flinched as if she had been struck. She turned and stormed out, humiliated. After she left, Henry sighed and looked at me. Elaine, I'm so sorry. I should have noticed sooner. I placed a hand on his shoulder. There's no need for you to apologize. She only bullies me when you're not around. You've done nothing wrong. Just please continue treating me like family. His eyes softened, of course, Elaine. From now on, I'll make sure she never troubles you again. Let me take you back to how it all started. I've been married to Jake for 3 years. We live in the countryside, where the only store is a small local grocery. Our community is close-knit, so we interact with our neighbors often. My mother-in-law, Victoria, is a very snobbish woman. She firmly believes that academic achievements define a person's worth. She graduated from a well-known business school and always brags about it. She never misses an opportunity to boast that Jake graduated from a top-tier engineering university. The first time we met during a family introduction, she immediately asked, "Which university did you graduate from?" I answered, "The University of Texas." Her expression soured at once. She clearly thought it was an unimportant school. From that moment on, she saw me as unworthy of her son. Even though she approved our marriage, she started treating me poorly. Whenever Jake and Henry were not around, she would say cruel things like, "How did Jake end up with someone as uneducated as you? You can't compare to my brilliant son. Did you trap him into marriage? A child deserves a better mother than you. Maybe it's better if you never have kids." She also spread her disdain throughout the neighborhood. "Elaine can't even manage a simple household budget," she would say. Because of this, I was often excluded from community gatherings. I thought about leaving many times, but I knew she would spread rumors about me. So, I endured in silence. Then, Henry developed some health issues, and Victoria and Henry decided to renovate their house. Since Jake and I took full responsibility for Henry's care, we ended up covering the renovation costs. To celebrate the renovation, Victoria organized a big gathering and invited all the neighbors. She assigned me to handle all the preparations. Jake offered to help, but Victoria grabbed his hand and pulled him away. "Jake, come with me. I want to introduce my highly educated son to everyone." Then she sneered at me, "With your lack of education, the only thing you're good for is cooking. So, get to work." At the gathering, she was in her element, boasting about Jake. Encouraged by the neighbors, she continued to insult me. That's when I finally lost my temper. 1 month after that incident, Henry announced he was divorcing Victoria. It turned out that besides her toxic behavior towards me, she had been having an affair with a middle-aged professor, who had the academic background she always idolized. Henry had suspected something was off and hired a private investigator. The evidence was undeniable. Their divorce was finalized quickly. As part of the settlement, Victoria was ordered to pay back the $150,000 I had contributed to the house. And guess who ended up covering the cost? Her affair partner. Now she's working as a part-time assistant for him. When Henry told us the news, he looked relieved. And as for me, I'm now 5 months pregnant. Jake, Henry, and even the neighbors who once turned their backs on me are now offering their support. For the first time, I feel truly at ease. Ironically, I'm grateful to Victoria. If not for her, I might not have realized who my real allies are. Looking ahead, I'm ready to embrace a happy life with Jake, our soon-to-be-born child, Henry, and of course, our beloved cat Max.